Hi everyone, I'm Jean-Claude BeyondMystic and welcome to this simulated reality with SOLRETA. This is episode 18. You can find her at solreta.com and also at Solreta Anteria here on YouTube. Solreta, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm enjoying looking at the comments. I just saw Susan said, love the vibe in this chat womb of creation. I thought that was so cute, and that's exactly what it feels like, is a little womb soul family space. So hello, everyone joining us.
Hello, everyone. And yes, that's a really good comment, actually. Thank you for pointing that out. Thank you, Susan Cano. I love that. And thank you, everyone, for joining us here live tonight on this interactive show. We're going to have a nice, cozy chat with you guys. There's a lot going on in the world. And at the same time, we also have to learn how to disconnect and pay attention to our bodies, to ourselves, to nature all around us. So Rita, how's your week been since the last time you were on the show?
I feel like the time is just flying. I've literally disconnected from so much of social media, noise, finding out what's going on in the world, and just really gone deep within and really connecting to a good core group of people that I have around here, which is beautiful. Mm-hmm. Create your own reality, literally. Absolutely. Because so much is broadcast to us, whether it's mainstream media, whether it's, even... It's so easy for me to get caught up to get onto Instagram or to get into YouTube land and to watch what's happening in the world. But yeah, I just feel really happy within, really grounded. I guess things are kind of bad in Melbourne.
They are?
I hadn't
noticed.
I haven't watched the news, so I'm guessing that they're still bad. Right. I have heard, you go out to the shops and you hear it. So it's easy to kind of, hear things if you need to hear things. But at the moment, it's just really helping with everything to stay away from it.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. RC says September 30th. I can't wait to have my reading with you. Much love to you both. Well, thank you for that. And on that note, let me bring you guys the link and the coupon code that is active for tonight's episode. Is that correct still, Solreta?
Yeah, that's fine. Love.
Discount code is love. Okay, perfect. Mm-hmm. And that's for the, again, the 2-hour session. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So it gives you $30 off a 2-hour session.
Okay, very good. And may I ask how far out you are in your bookings right now? Because I know a lot of my audience are trying to get to you and it's like, oh my God, JC, her calendar is always full.
And every now and then you will get like the golden nugget booking where I've switched someone around because of time zone or something. Mm-hmm. And someone's like, I went to book in, I thought it was going to be January or February, and it was next week. So sometimes those kind of things do happen.
Well, you can be lucky, so give it a try, folks. There you go. Solreta.com is the place to go. Solreta, I got to say, whatever you're doing, it seems to be working for you because you're absolutely beaming. You always are, but there's something about you here today as well. What's going on, man?
Thank you. Well, I am wearing sequins at 8 o'clock in the morning.
It could be the sequence too, yes.
It could be. Yeah.
The glitter of the sequence. I love it. All right. So let's get into some cards here tonight to get the feel for the frequency for this show, for the audience here. And I have a few topics we can talk about. I don't know if you had anything specific also that you wanted to bring, or you feel guided in your meditations here before the show. Just, take the microphone here and lead us through where you want to go.
So if you guys go to my YouTube channel, remember to like and subscribe. But I did put up a Mercury Retrograde special last night. So I did a read on each of the zodiac signs. It was really interesting. There was a couple of signs that had crossovers. So there might be a few people coming together from some of the different signs. There was a lot of Venus energy. And what I mean by this is, yes, we had Earth energy. Oh, there you go. You can see from last night. So while we have Earth energy, I also felt a lot of Venus energy coming up for the Mercury retrograde period for some. So it really is being careful with blasts from the past, love returning, or if there's anyone that is sort of hanging around, or any of those spontaneous calls from, ex-partners and things. Mercury helps us to review. Thank you. I feel like
a shiny mermaid. I love it.
Thank you. It helps us to review things that may be unfinished, may have been unsaid. It helps us to really go back in time and sort of revisit things and say, hey, is this what we want? What do we want to go forward from the future? So I highly suggest Mercury retrograde is about that period of time going within. Thank you. So I guess with me feeling really led to go within right now is probably part of this preemptive Mercury retrograde. So it did just start yesterday.
Yeah, I was going to say, talk about the timing a little bit, the start and when all of this is culminating, because it seems to be coming to a head with a lot of other events in the world happening at the exact same time as this.
Yeah, we've got a couple of retrogrades happening at the moment. I think we're still in Saturn retrograde, which is really about like redefining rules, government, things that are working, things that really don't feel like our rules. So that inner rebel will be coming up a little bit. But with Mercury retrograde, it does tend to make you a little bit more introverted or a little bit going within. So really write down, reassess like what your plans are for the future, what worked in the past on, whether it's like work, love, anything that you want to focus on at the moment, and really kind of have that inner review. And you will get, the universe will bring you things to review. It's a terrible time for paperwork and signing contracts and all of that kind of thing. It's a time also usually of miscommunication, feeling tongue-tied. So even filming that one that I filmed last night, I couldn't speak at the start of it. And I'm like, this is a clear example of Mercury retrograde.
I had trouble. I had 3 shows, I think, or 4 yesterday with the pay-per-views, and I had trouble speaking by the end of the night. I'm like, am I just tired or there's something weird? I was having trouble getting my thoughts across. Yeah. Pretty funny. Yeah,
so we'll just blame that on Mercury retrograde. But the other thing, and I've picked some cards before the show because I wasn't sure what we were going to be speaking on today. But there was some houses that I was going for to move, and I didn't get the house I wanted, which it was a really lovely brand new house, but it was in a terrible area. And something in me was like, I don't want to live in the area, I want to live in the house. So when I didn't get it, there was a sense of relief, and I did cards on it. And it was saying, wait 3 more months. So whatever's happening here in Melbourne, and I've spoken to other people that work in the intuitive realm of things and psychic realm of things, and a couple have said 3 more months. So what does that take us to? September. So it might be like, possibly around November, December, there might be something else happening, but it's this period of waiting and feeling like stuck in the air at the moment and not wanting to make a solid commitment on the earth. So I guess it is that feeling of being able to be very flexible in movement at the moment was what was coming through to myself and to this other person. But yeah, I did pick cards, and it's from the Star deck. So we've got the 2 of Wands. So this kind of feels to me like a bit of a choice or a tiny bit of a crossroads sometimes. It can also represent the duality. So it can be feeling pulled this way, feeling pulled that way on a higher level. It's a difficult emotion. It's a difficult feeling sometimes. The way for me to tap out of it is to kind of close down to everything else and to go within. So we've got that message coming up in the cards for now. We also have Ace of Cups. So there is something new that's been trying to be born out of this. So when we do go within, there is something new or like a prize for going within. That's a reward. We also see the rainbow realm with this angelic kind of dove. Usually this dove will represent Archangel Michael too. So I do feel that guidance to go within. And what it does do, it eliminates a little bit of the confusion. We'll still have a bit of that, but we've got 2 of Pentacles. So with this one, it is a little bit of making a choice, a little bit of a juggling type feeling, but it's on the earth. So for some, it might feel less confusing than the spiritual realm side of things that's going on. But either side, like when you look at it, whether it's before or after, the answer is to go within. Because when we're given 2 choices and it seems like this is the same, it can be really conflicting or confusing. So yeah, when we go within, we get that gift that comes down from the Godhead or from Source. So I'll just do a couple of cards on this and we'll see if there's anything else that they want to mention.
Okay, very interesting. In my interview today with Catherine Edwards, we were also talking about just that, going within, taking care of the body, connecting with nature here. As we're being bombarded by everything else outside, we really need to pay attention. And she said something that was funny. She said, there's the expression mind your own business, and for a lot of people that kind of means like F off, but really it's not meant like that. It was originally meant like be mindful of your business, of your surroundings, of your body, of your meaning start with you, and then the rest will kind of figure itself out. So I thought, yeah, that's probably a good thing that we start saying that more often and paying attention to it for ourselves. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's really good advice. And I just flipped these cards because it's my other deck that I flip. But we've got that same duality, the same crossroads. So we've got nearly all of the twos. If we look at, a standard deck between these decks, we've got 2 of Wands, 2 of Swords, 2 of Pentacles. We just don't have 2 of Cups, which is love. And that's the most important thing to tap within, to connect to source, to connect into your higher self. But it's showing here when we look within, because this is also what 2 of Swords is about. So we see that there's 2 identical swords. For me, her slippers that she's wearing, they're yellow. So there's some kind of grounding, some kind of like inner learning or inner standing that she's trying to go through. She's trying to not be bombarded by these 2 swords that look identical. So this is really about the duality. It's about the split in our world that's going on at the moment. And it really is come within, come within. There we will be given a new opportunity. So we've got the Ace of Pentacles. So there's that little coin being gifted out from the hand of God. And then we've got Justice, which in my other deck of cards is always the card that I get to do with this shift taking place. So either way, when I look at both decks, whether I'm clarifying, we're still getting the same message. This is kind of like hold the light, hold the line, go within. Start paying attention to things around you at the moment. Start paying attention to they're right, they're wrong, left, right, up, down. There really is a deep, deep message. It's distraction. The appearance of supposed choice is distraction. I'll just see if there's a core message that we need to know on a spiritual level.
Sure. And Beth is saying, hey, she just bought a juicer. Good for you. I love juicing and doing these juice cleanses, and of course making it your own. You know exactly what's in it as compared to buying that in the store, and it gets really expensive. So yeah, that's definitely something you can do once in a while to raise the vibration in your body and get your body out from behind the 8 ball with all of these toxins. So definitely something to try if you haven't already.
So we've got 3 cards. And there was something that I was getting on a download level. Okay. So when each of us does go within and come to alignment, it's those lights. It's almost like that, the oversoul energy of the collective consciousness going, oh my God, they're doing it. They're doing it, is what I'm seeing come from spirit. So it's like when we do go within and we say, what that other lady said on the interview, mind your own business. We literally, it's like we are concentrated. We're holding these coins close to our hearts, and all of a sudden this light, this eminence is coming further forward, or holding the Ace of Cups close to the heart. So there's a bit of a shift and change I see with that. And I have my favorite deck. I've got that face down. So let's have a look at that one. All right. So this is looking at it from a spiritual level. So what I'm actually seeing when I'm looking, if we visualize kind of like a circle and we look at our realm. So I'm seeing beings that are at the top of the realm looking down. So on my left, I'm seeing there's an angelic group of beings that are standing there watching. And it's almost like they want to swoop in and come and help. But at the same time, they understand and know that if we don't get it, we don't get it. And that we can't always be scooped up, saved, rescued, and helped. This is something that the human family needs to get for themselves. So we're sort of past that point of practice. We really are at that point of, thank you, Libby, so gorgeous. So we really are past that point of the practice run. This is what we're being prepared for lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. It's not even just this lifetime. So I'll just see if there's anything else that they want to show us. So yeah, I'm seeing like ET groups on the right. And then I'm also seeing another higher version of ourselves watching this game play out. So I'm sure that some of the viewers may have also had that experience of their higher self looking into this situation on the earth, or feeling that they're part of them maybe step back watching from above. So it's like the oversoul energy. So we have the oversoul might have like, this is Jean-Claude on the Earth level, this is you in Pleiades or Arcturus or, you know, Orion or Sirius. And we can have these other aspects that we bring in. So we really need to bring this higher self aspect in right now to get conscious in this game. So I'll flip these cards. Yeah, that's what's going to help to finish this game off. So we've got four of disc. For me, it's the power card. And for me, what this represents, and this is perfect, it goes with what we were just talking about with this realm. It's almost like a gladiator sort of style arena. It doesn't come up as a gladiator style, but it's that circular thing with all of the people watching in the background. So for me, the 4 of disc it's that 3 of disc where the man's sitting in the chair. He's got one on his lap, one by either foot. And then spirit comes in to bring this 4th disc. So 4 of disc is someone who has that strength, that, and look at this, it's the arena that we were describing. It's not a circle, but it's a square, but it's that same sort of style arena where there could be something, I guess, happening in the middle of this. So this has sun in it, has Capricorn. For me, that's that sun's influence, that soul's influence, or the higher self that we were talking about calling in, is at the top of the card with this circle. And then underneath we have the Capricorn energy. So it's going to take all that it takes, or everything that we have, to bring that realignment, that balance back, that 3 of wands. For me, this is always like the physical connecting to the spiritual. And again, we have the sun at the top. This is such an important part of what's happening right now. And I do actually mean the physical sun. We also have Aries. We see that there's a star bursting forth in the center of these wands. We see that the flowers are coming into fruition. Each and every single one of these cards that I've got, and we have 10 of cups, which is happy families, happy times, abundance, things coming to fruition. It's usually a cottage with a family dancing and celebrating, a rainbow in the sky above with 10 cups. It's like all their dreams coming at once. So it's a really important message. But look at the orange dominance in this. This is like, we need to step into our charisma. We need to go and put our glitter on. We need to go get that, get into this game that we came here to get into on Earth, to be that light, but to come together in solidarity to shine all of these together. There is a lot of Christ consciousness energy that comes in with this. Hi, is it Marina? I know the face, but I'm just trying to remember how to pronounce your name. I don't want to muck it up. Lovely to see you.
Isn't it amazing how ESETI connects a lot of people? I keep getting that all the time. Oh, I met you at ESETI 2 years ago or 4 years ago. I'm like, I know, it's so crazy.
Yeah. There's a couple of places like that. Whole Foods here for us in Australia at the moment, because of our limitations on where we can go. Everyone kind of knows each other from certain places, certain areas. With this, this is all about, okay, the way that Spirit's showing me is, say if you have to do a book report or a book review or like give like a monologue or a talk or a speech, and it's like you've done the research, done the study, you've written the notes, and now it's just time to hop up on stage and to kind of put the show on, put the performance on. We're at that stage now. We're standing backstage waiting for our turn. And there's a great meme with aliens in that, where they're sort of standing there looking like they're getting ready, and they're like, oh, F, we're up next. It is a little bit of that for us right now. And I would just pick a Lemurian card to go with this. Let's check we've got all of them. It's funny, even as I'm picking the card, I asked Spirit to give us a card to let us know what we need to think of next. And it really is about, come into the now. It's about being super present. How distracted are you is one of the questions that Spirit was kind of, thank you. So I'm really getting, it's like, how present are you in the now? If we were to question this, because if we're standing behind the stage getting ready and being prepared, we don't want to be in the anxiety of that. We don't want to be distracted and sort of, going over our notes that we've practiced for, we really want to be in the now and calling that power in and standing in it. So we have heart chakra unfurling back to love, which I think is beautiful. So that's the reason that we came here, is to not only experience love, and I'll find, and I just happened to randomly open to that page. So yeah, it's not only to experience love, but it's to be a divine example of love, because we did have Ace of Cups too. So I'll just read this. So love for oneself, others, relationships, compassion, forgiveness, empathy, connection, receptivity, acceptance, generosity. This chakra card represents love in many forms. It reminds you that you are everything, that everything in life. Oh no, it reminds you that everything in life can unfold into love or fear. When unfurled back enough, the foundation of all you seek lies in the universal desire and right to feel love and to be loved. Love heals. God is love. This is the force that will change the world. And that's what we're talking about doing. So it says to restore, count everything in your life that you are grateful for. Think of those that you love and how wonderful feeling radiates from your heart. Consider those that you forgive and extend that feeling out to them. Remember, we just want to be loved and accepted, but insecurities and triggers can cause behaviors that move us away from this place. Have compassion. Know that others may be in their suffering. Expand your awareness and heart-centered radiation for all beings on the planet. Encapsulate in love, in loving compassion. Bask in the blissful feeling of the planet, in all of its perfect balance, loving you back. So themes, relationships and relating, connecting to yourself and others, the language of love. So it talks about really tapping into this heart, and soft emerald green is the color that goes with this. So, yeah. Yeah. And whilst reading that, I was still getting that same vision of that game being played down here on Earth. But it really kind of is that final moment that's in the movie scene, where the team's down by, 2 points and there's like one shot.
The Hail Mary. Yeah, so Hail Mary pass. Exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So we have...
What I was thinking... Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, we do have that kind of moment that we're facing. So it's to not really look at anything else like in the negative or crossroads that we're at, because it's all distraction. Mm-hmm. Everything happening at the moment is distraction. When we stop the input of data from the physical in what's happening in the spell that's being cast, and we actually look to nature, we see that there's change that's taken place. We see there's a shift in dimensions. So my dad's been able to pat this kookaburra that comes and lands on his fence. These are not birds that let you go up and pat them. I mean, what wild bird does that? So there's this kookaburra, and he's just able to pat it, grab a couple of selfies with it. Is that my speaker? Yeah.
I'm not hearing any echo on this side.
Oh, okay. It might just be my side.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm having birds come up to me too. So it's animals. So if you look to animals, we've already gone through the shift. We're already where we are supposed to be in a way. We just have to realize it. The animals have realized it.
Okay, that's fascinating. You haven't watched my show here, but yesterday I talked about this woman, Doreen Dotan. She's from Israel, very well versed on the esoteric and the occult. And she's talking about the fact that the rules of engagement have just changed. And what she was saying is the laws of nature are now in effect. Whereas before, matter here on Earth was being a prostitute to anyone who wanted to use it without regard for morality. And what she's saying now is something happened, and we could point to maybe a few things, maybe a solar flare or something like that in the last couple of weeks, where this has now shifted, and the matter here on the planet will no longer serve itself to ill-intentioned beings. So, and that kind of explains why perhaps some of these bad actors around the planet are such in a rush to get their mandates done, because they know their time is up, using, for example, the energies of the ley lines and different places on Earth, and that energy is now open to the rest of us who come in peace and who want to live in peace and harmony with the planet. So there's a big shift happening here. And in that video, I was talking about that with Catherine Edwards today, and she was saying, you know what's funny? The animals saw this shift going. So there's something big in the animals right now. And she works with horses. She does a lot of healing with different animals. And so she's very in tune with them as well. And the animals are telling her that, of course, something has shifted. So there's Maureen saying this on one side, or Doreen saying this on one hand, and psychics are feeling it. And also now pet owners are feeling that. So yeah, that's absolutely interesting.
Yeah. And also one of our beautiful elders here, Auntie Minnie, she also talks about the same thing, talks about that, well, she first predicted before all of this happened, I think it was 2 years before, she predicted that toilet paper shortages would be the thing that heralds this shift into this new age. Wow. And she was right. She was spot on. Wow. And what she's saying about I guess like the second wave of everything happening, she did say toilet paper again, but she also said, I think it was watch the birds. And it's definitely been the birds that I've been noticing. Even over the last couple of years, they've been just a little bit more around. What I did notice last year during our harshest lockdown, we had different bird tribes fighting. There was 2 different bird tribes that were fighting and trying to attack this mother possum with her babies, which I saw as a metaphor for what was happening, in the world, that people are just trying to get on, live their lives with their babies.
Speaking of Isedi, also with the birds, that's about when it started for Sarah also. She was just walking up to wild birds, and they would just stand there and let her pet them in the forest. We were walking some of the trails, and it was like, what?
This is the shift that we're going through. So it's the same with my dad and the kookaburra, which are the birds that laugh here. They're quite funny birds. They're not too shy of stealing a sausage off a barbecue, but they're not one that will come up and just let you pat it.
Okay.
So they're reminding us of our humanity on a deeper level. They're reminding us of who we really are. So we are guardians, we are custodians of the land. So, get out into the earth, start planting a garden like you're doing, JC. I was out in the garden last weekend. It's just been really good to get your hands into soil and to grow your own food.
And I can't believe it either this year. And a lot of people were telling me the same thing again on different shows this week, that their garden this year was absolutely overgrown with life. Wow. And mine was the same too. I was busy and I didn't trim maybe as much as I could have, but so much life came out of that patch this year. Like, wow. All my neighbors were like, what the hell did you put in the soil? I'm like, nothing, just love. I mean, So it's been a weird and wild year for that as well. So, okay, guys, I just put the link in the chat. I recommend you go check it out. She's very unique in the way she delivers her information. Again, she doesn't suffer any fools, I think is the expression in English. I like her style. But anyways, she's got a lot of cool videos. But this particular one about the rules of engagement having changed here perhaps brings a piece of the element or an element of the puzzle here that we had not yet thought about. We know the bad actors, I said, are in a rush, or they seem to be panicked right now. They're making all of these errors. But maybe we hadn't thought through that they're doing that because maybe we are being empowered. And so if we are having a chance to be empowered, well, that brings up a whole lot of questions and a lot of self-responsibility with that power as well. What do we want to create now? So it engages us in this conversation. And so I recommend you go watch this video and at least think about what she's saying and how maybe that perhaps affects you personally in your ability to manifest the world that we want for ourselves. So fascinating times. There was somebody in the chat. Actually, she was in the chat earlier, and I have her question in the PayPal tip jar. Let's do that. And do you have to? Okay, let's do that now. Susan Cano. Yeah, I believe she was in the chat earlier. Let me see if I can scroll this in the middle here.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Solreta. I'd like to know if the real. I'd like to know if the real awakening coming together of our collective consciousness is being blocked. Okay. Are we receiving false information about how we are really coming together? I think I know where she's getting. Do you want to read that again and get the frequency for yourself?
Yeah, let me just read that again. So
I'll let you read it if you want out loud.
Yeah. Okay, so when I read the question, like the first thing that I saw was there's like a wake up within the wake up. Or it's like, you wake up in the dream and then in that aspect, you wake up. So I'm seeing us go through this second wake up. So a lot of us are awake to everything going on, but this secondary level, hi Beth, of wake up is really about turning everything off and coming back to that point of within, that point of nature, that point of connection to source. That's kind of like the second wake up. So let's pick some cards for Susan and see.
And while you pick the cards too, a few other psychics had told me that on my show, or at least the last time we got deleted, it wasn't necessarily because, or even because I was saying bad words or censored words. They were trying to disperse the community. And it speaks to what she's saying here. Are we receiving false information about how really we're all coming together? And this is why they're trying to disperse us, because maybe our coming together or this new level of consciousness is much stronger than they want us to know, and we might be very close to that tipping point where we can overwhelm these bad actors simply by our consciousness focusing on exactly what we want, and especially what we don't want. So times are really interesting in that point. Thank you, Susan. That's a great question.
Yeah, thank you, Susan. Yeah. All right, let's move into. Okay, so the first image that I'm getting is a river that's running. Spirit showing me that. I'm just putting my hand over these cards, fill into them. Okay, so this is bizarre, but I'm seeing a river and we're standing in this flow, in this current, and there's someone there, like a character, pouring a cup of tea, asking if we want a cup of tea. So even though we're amongst the river, we're being distracted by this cup of tea, thinking that this is where the water is coming from, or like where this flow or source is coming from. And so we're being distracted, getting given this cup of tea, which seems to be nice. But if you look at a cup of tea compared to a vast flowing river, it's a very different amount of water. It's a very different amount of consciousness. So what we've been fed is about this much in comparison to this massive depth of a river that we're already standing in, we're already flowing in. So it's time to come into the understanding of what this river is, what this divine source field that connects us is, instead of being distracted by this nice warm cup of tea. Does that make sense, JC?
Yes, absolutely. And Allison is saying, yes, hi, SOLRETA and JC. They seem to be afraid of our unity. I would concur with that, Allison. Yeah. And
the Hopi prophecy does have, there was a statement that they did release about now is the time to hop in the river. So they are talking about, it's like, get off the riverbanks, you know, you've got to trust, you've got to journey within, even if it's by yourself. You know, it's not about waiting for other people. We need to hop into this frequency, this currency. It was just really random seeing a cup of tea being poured from this like China teapot whilst in the midst of the river. So I'll flip these cards over, and we finally got the other card that we were, now we've got a complete set. We've got 2 of cups. So we had 2 of swords, 2 of wands, 2 of discs. Now we've got 2 of cups, which is love. It's that flow. This is the absolute essence of what is important. Anything other than love is a distraction. So it's not about like the colors of things. It's not about, you know, you've got to do this breath and connect to this, or, you know, if there's a lot of spiritual distraction that's going on. If we can connect into love and connect into ourselves, this is what we need. So this will tie off the completion. We've got the universe, which is the world card. See, it's that final battle. This for me is an ending card. There's just so much to say about this, but I think it's come through pretty straightforward. Once we step into love, the game finishes. This is the arena that we talked about before. See, there's almost like scaffolding or like a section where it looks like an arena. And so we've got this goddess that's playing out this game, and she's trying to limit the amount of light that comes through this all-seeing eye. She's trying to block the energy and control it. She's trying to filter it down. But as soon as we realize that we are that, and I should also say this is Venus energy in both these cards, which is love again. And I'm sensing a lot of this coming into October. What this leads to is remembering that we had the gifts all along. So it's that whole thing of, it was always within. So the Magnus is the end of the journey from the Fool. So when the Fool sets out on the journey, he's, you know, doesn't know too much. He kind of learns along the way. we've came here, we've learned what we needed to learn. So this Magnus, there's a lot of Mercury energy to this. So it's really important to not be stuck in our heads, to not get distracted, to know that we can draw all things, experiences to us. So really interesting array of cards. To me, this also represents, when I look at these two cards, it looks like consciousness streaming. And it looks like being a child or floating in the universe. So it really is, you know, do we actually get distracted by this teapot? It's a cup in this one, but it looks kind of like a teapot. Or do we realize that we're in the flow of everything, that we are connected to source, we are connected to, you know, everything. We could pull it in if we need it, but the main thing is to realize that we're literally floating in this river.
I love it. Hey, you know, remember you did a reading for Joe, Dave, and I. We had experienced some weird things in New Mexico on our treasure hunt. Anyways, just a couple of days ago, the boys reunited, and we did this 3 Dudes in the Desert episode. We had a lot of fun, but in there, Joe was talking about how very recently he's doing all of these shamanic dreamings and guided meditations here for the last year, really focusing on that for himself. And he's getting a lot of 2-2-2-2s. And so here you had earlier the 2 of this, the 2 of cups, and all of this. I'm wondering if he listened to this interview, he'd say, "Hey, what's with all the 2s there, SOLRETA?
Yeah.
What's your feeling about all of this?"
Yeah, I'm getting lots too.
You too, huh? Okay.
Yeah. So 222s, which are about coming back to love. It's about relationships. So remembering we've got Mercury retrograde at the moment, so it could be an opportunity to heal past things, but our most important relationship is our relationship to ourselves. So we have to get right with this first. It's definitely the utmost important. Everything else kind of flows and connects into this. So there's also a chance for some to revisit self-worth, to revisit limitation, to look into how they give and how they receive love.
Wow, very good. And somebody says, yeah, it's a step up from 1111. Yeah, that's another way of saying it. Yeah, for sure. That was Wana Song. Thank you. I have another question, and it was from earlier in the chat. I don't know if the gentleman is still there. And let me see if I got this straight, because it was scrolling very fast at the beginning of the show, so I don't know if I got the whole story. But I believe this fellow is going to propose to this lady. And he wants to give her a diamond, and he's nervous because he's heard that some of these diamonds might have or hold, he referenced to satanic energy. And so there are a few people in the chat saying, hey, meditate with them, communicate with them to see if it feels right to you. If it doesn't feel right to you, then maybe there is some of these energies in some of these diamonds. So first, what's your feeling about diamonds here in the context of the wedding vows? And 2, I think it was Libby who said, hey, maybe SOLRETA can help you pick the proper stone here. So I don't know if that person is still in the chat. If you are, at any rate, it's a good conversation for the rest of the audience here. So what are your thoughts on that, SOLRETA?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to Jim and to the other beautiful people just saying lovely things about my readings. I feel so blessed to have such gorgeous clients. I love my job so much. It feels like what I've come here to do on the earth side of things. So I just want to express my love and gratitude to you guys. Thank you. Let me bring that link down in the code back for the people who are just joining us now. Guys, if you want to have a reading with SOLRETA, you can do so at solreta.com. I'm looking forward to meeting you, Ocean. That would be lovely. The coupon code is LOVE in capital letters. All right. So with the diamond side of things, we have I remember a really old episode of Coast to Coast, and they were talking about having barrels of diamonds sitting in containers, and that, to make them seem exclusive or rare, they could jack the price right up. So my opinion, I guess, on diamonds is there's some that are ethically sourced, and there's the ones that we know of from the Leonardo DiCaprio movie as blood diamonds. With stones and with crystals, I always, no matter where I buy them, even if it's from the crystal shop, I will actually, breathe white light through them to clear them. I might ask some of the angelic realm to come down and clear them. Like ask Archangel Michael to clear it. But what I'll actually physically do is usually take eucalyptus oil or tea tree oil and give it a polish over with that to cleanse the energy. You can smudge it with Palo Santo or sage. You can charge things outside. Probably don't want to with a diamond. let me just have a look. We'll do some cards and we'll see about the energy and frequency of diamonds.
I hope the gentleman's still here, but it's a cool conversation. Yeah. And Amy is saying, hey, 22 is sometimes referred to as the master builder or master architect. That's interesting for Joe as well. I'll let him know that. Thank you, Amy. That's great. All right.
Okay. I'm hearing similar to what I was hearing. So I'm hearing a voice of spirit just talking about that, you know, we are able to put energy into things. And so there's a lot of, I guess, people saying things are good, things are bad. At the end of the day, a diamond is a diamond. It's a carbon-based crystalline structure that's gone through the pressurization to form into this stone of what it is. So on a base level, that is what it is. So other people can put frequencies into it. We can clean frequencies out of it. It doesn't change the atomic structure or the actual physical crystalline structure of what it is. So they're just wanting to make that really clear. I'm just feeling into these cards and see if there's anything else that they're wanting to show. Okay, so the other thing that I'm hearing communicated is that they are used for certain frequencies, but it doesn't mean that we can't program or put our frequencies into it. So say if he was to, and I've got my lovely big fake one on right now, but say if we were to put certain frequencies into it, or he holds it over the heart after doing clearing or doing a ceremony for it, and then programs that love that he has for his partner and asks the crystal or asks the diamond to hold this frequency of love and to hold this, really think about like what it is that you guys want for the future, and to ask the diamond to be that beautiful reminder to always stay on path, to always stay kind and considerate, compassionate for each other, to always share and embody that sense of divine love. So you can program things into it like that. So you can even just have a couple of words that embody what it is that you're wishing to have for the relationship. So it might be love and co-creation. Could be 2 words, and you could just say love and co-creation and hold that frequency in there. And just like water holds a frequency, like Dr. Emoto, water crystals, stones and crystals also hold frequency, as well as, in shamanic culture, they're able to hold memory and hold knowledge and things. So I'll flip these cards. We've got a crystal or a diamond, literal diamond shape appear on one of these. So we've got the Princess of Disc, and she's not meant to have a wand, yet she has a wand with a diamond on the end. So we're in 2 cards, we've got change. So we have the positive change come through with the 2 of Disc. Again, we have 2. So it's all about choice. It's all about the way in which we perceive different things. So if we perceive it to be that luminary that holds that light, then it is. We have this period of adjustment. And I also feel this is speaking of duality again. We're getting caught up in distraction of duality. So this is a perfect teaching example moment of how easy it is to get pulled into this is bad, this is good. Okay, what is it that we want to make of it? So we have this Princess of Disc come in to turn the world upside down on its head. So we see that she's literally turned the trees upside down. She's creating her reality. So look at, if you have found that perfect ring or you found that perfect diamond, how can you make the best of that? How can you make it even better than if you were just to give it without putting code or frequency into it?
Okay. Very good. I love that. Let me see here. There's another question in the chat. Spicy Dame, is Janine's awesome? Oh, okay. Yes. Let me bring that on the screen for you guys. Here you go. This is what you're looking for. And yes, we pushed it out, I think, earlier this morning. We recorded it yesterday. Let me put the link here. Okay, so the live link is in the chat now, and that's available for you guys. And tomorrow, somebody else was asking if SOLRETA was aware of the work of Indigo Angel, as she is decoding also some of the events and the energies in your neck of the woods.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't heard.
She'll be on the show tomorrow at 4 p.m. We were supposed to do it last Friday, but she was still receiving downloads, and she said, JC, can I push the show a couple of days? There's more coming in, and I want to do it right. So that's going to be tomorrow at 4 p.m. Galactic download with Indigo Angel. She has a way of bringing these really extra dimensional concepts here in our reality for everybody to understand. So please check that show. And of course, tonight at 8 p.m. after this one. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying that would be a good one for me to watch being in Australia.
I'll send you the link for this one as well. I think you'll appreciate watching this one.
Thank you, JC. I appreciate that.
And it's not, I'll just say it's not all doom and gloom, even though it might appear that way. There's indications that there's something else going on beneath the surface. And that's all I can say here on this show. And of course, we have it on the Uncensored.
That we had.
What's that?
With that earthquake that we had here too, the 6.0 earthquake. Didn't feel like an earthquake.
We got into that, actually. Yes. So that's a crazy show. So guys, go check that out. And of course, tonight, Janine, right after this show here, she'll be back on for 8 o'clock. And now we're doing 2 shows a week because there's so much to go through. So join us here again in about an hour here for the next show. So Rena, we have about 10 minutes left. Do you want to take maybe questions from the audience in the live chat?
Yeah,
or is there anything else you wanted to share tonight that you think is important to
Yeah, I'm happy to do a question. Oh, someone's asking what deck. So I've got the Thoth deck or Thoth deck. Right Away was another one, and the Star deck or the Star Tarot. And then the Lemurian one is the ones that I've used today.
Okay. Tiffany's asking, what do you know about an orgone blanket? I just heard of it. Anyone know?
Okay. Yeah, I had a friend use one years and years ago when we were in college. She was healing really severe digestive things, and it was a quantum orgone blanket, I'm pretty sure it was called. But it was the only thing that gave her relief. She was kind of on death's door with nutrient absorption and different things, and it really helped her to get her strength back and to reharmonize her energy.
And was that orgone blanket that your friend was using based on the Wilhelm Reich technology and understanding of things?
I think it was quite similar. So I have a Rife machine myself.
Okay.
And a lot of us kinesiologists were into all of that cool tech. So a couple of us have toys. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Let me see if there's another question here. Guys, put your questions in high caps. It's going to be easier for me to pop out here on the screen. Let me see. So Rita, while we wait, is that guy back? No. Hey, if you guys know who that guy was asking about the diamonds, if you know who he is, send him the link to this episode because we answered his question. I think he left before he got the answer. And if he's still in the chat, just let us know. I haven't seen it scroll by yet. Okay, let's try to get 1 or 2 questions in. So guys, put your questions in high cap. While we do that, so Rita, what would be your recommendation here to the audience moving forward, trying to navigate maybe the energies of the next week here? We're hearing that perhaps we're going to have more solar flashes, so we are being affected. And of course, today too, the Schumann resonance was quite literally off the chart as well. So what can we tell the audience there on how to navigate all of this?
Yeah. And I've just found the next question. Libby, it's Libby's birthday tomorrow. So if we can pick a card for her, that would be great. But yeah, I think Schumann frequency, the resonance was like 80 hertz the other day. So it's getting quite high again. With the solar flash, just to prepare ourselves energetically is the most important thing that we can do. So we need to eat right. We need to get sleep. We need to be around beautiful souls, beautiful people, do everything that we can to maintain this, because when we look at frequencies, we want to harmonize with what's going on. We don't want to be on the bottom end of what's happening, because it's going to make it really painful, really more of a struggle. So the more that we can raise our frequency and vibration, the easier that solar flash will be, the easier that the Schumann resonance riding those waves will be too. It is a little bit more of a challenge with this Mercury retrograde, but remembering Mercury retrograde is to do with communications, electronics, contracts and agreements and different things. So if you can just make time to get out, to lay on the earth, to go to a park, a forest, and to be amongst nature, you're not going to be so caught up with this retrograde.
Okay, very good. Before we get to Libby's birthday card reading, somebody's asking, and people ask that every show, what are those red rings behind you in the window? Those are reflections of her ring light.
Yeah, because the room's really dark where I'm working. So,
So people
'cause I'm
thought,
in
oh my God, there's the
it looks
halos
like a little
behind
wooden
you.
cabin.
Right. I love it. Okay, let's go back to Libby. Libby's birthday. Where's Libby's question? Let me see. Soretta, may I have a card for my birthday? Of course you can. Happy birthday, Libby. Everybody,
Yeah,
say happy birthday to Libby.
Libby. Sending you big hugs.
Libby's
We
been
have
following this show since my first days on YouTube. So thank you so much, Libby, for being such a loyal and compassionate and loving fan, because not only to me, but to the rest of the audience here, you're always here helping up and lending a hand to everybody else here and being so generous with your time, with your energy, and your love towards everybody. And we absolutely love you right back. So thank you, Libby. That's from me. Okay, now let's get some cards.
So one card that literally flew out of the deck is the card of the Aeon, which speaks about transformation. It speaks about kind of fighting tooth and nail, forging that way through the fire. We have Nuith, who is the mother sky goddess, this beautiful Egyptian goddess. We have Horus in the central part of the womb, because this yellow space in the middle represents the womb. We also have a Medusa-looking character who's in an etheric like form, in childlike and innocent. So we've got a few different layers from physical into the etheric and spiritual. We also see these little babies that are being birthed down the bottom. So with this, what I see, or what Spirit is sort of throwing out and talking about transformation, is also this power of coming within. What is it that we're birthing forth in this transformation? Oh, that's so sweet.
Big hug to Libby. Come on, don't cry.
Yeah. So yeah, with this, it's asking to look within the left and the right eye. So the esoteric, the esoteric, to come within. This is about letting go of illusion, is what I see with this. So even with the Medusa character, there's a story behind that. So Medusa was actually said to be even more beautiful than Aphrodite, and Aphrodite didn't like that. So she turned her, I think it was first into a Pegasus and then into the stone turning snake-headed goddess that we know. So it really is to let go of labels, let go of attachment, let go of things to walk this power of transformation. So what is it that you're wanting to birth at the moment is coming up very strong. I feel that there's a lot of fertility energy also coming up. So I'll flip these other cards. Yeah, this is also about letting go of the other stuff. I've got stagnant energy here. So if we imagine the womb space with stagnant energy on top, it makes it very hard to plant these seeds. So we need to really nurture ourselves. We need to, have that nurturing environment with this, with the, I guess with like the 8, this is about, I just feel that they're talking about that you already planted the seeds long ago, but it's about that recognition of how far life has changed, how far things have come, because when you realize that, more of it can be born into this world. So I'll just get some quick clarification around this. But yeah, I really feel that it's recognition for how far you've come on the path as well. So we've got 4 cards. I'll flip these over. So Page of Swords, the 7 of Cups, and the 8. Yeah. We've got Strength, and we've got Ace of Wands. So we can see here, conceiving, like thinking about new ideas is going to bring more opportunity, but just be careful for it to not be a distraction, because the true gift is the strength. So this is looking at how far you've come. We've got Ace of Wands come up to bring that new opportunity. There's going to be new spiritual gifts when you realize just how far that you've come. So I feel that there's a lot of psychic upgrades around the corner for you. So perhaps for your birthday, maybe buying yourself a little treat, whether it's a new crystal or something to meditate with. Let me just see quickly if there's anything that they want to add to that.
Okay.
I can hear my nephew in the next room. It's hilarious.
I was like, where
kind of noise going on.
Where are you getting that from? Yeah, okay.
It sounds like a dog howling, but it's not. Pretty sure it's my niece or nephew singing.
Rose Gentile is asking, is Solreta in Australia? Yes, she is.
Yes, I'm in Australia. So with this, the energy that I see, I'll flip them over. I really feel this is about time for you to come into your strength, into your magic. So looking at perhaps buying yourself something symbolic, whether it's even a little wand. We've got wands come up in 2 of these. One of them has a crystal on the end. So there's a new grounding, a new foundation of you standing in your power. So this also means we can see here in the middle, the tetrahedron represents fire. in terms of platonic solids and alchemy. We also see the water that's not putting out or extinguishing the fire. So this is also looking at how can you hold in that strength, that conviction in self and beliefs. Princess of Wands is about overcoming the fear and really sort of like putting that transformational energy out. We see the tiger is trying to pull her down. We also see there's roses burning, which sort of represent that Christ consciousness. And then we have Queen of Disc over here with the wand. And this is the crystal that I was feeling or talking about. So we have, it's a Merkaba inside of a cube. So this is sort of like fifth dimension and beyond, manifesting within the third dimensional reality, because the Merkaba for me represents sort of that fifth dimension, that light body. The cube represents 3D. So cube is always the platonic solid that represents the 3D. It represents the paradigm of the earth realm. But we see with the Queen of Disc, even though she has disc, it's her wand that kind of overshadows the disc because it is so magical.
Wow, that's beautiful. And it's very fitting for our friend Libby. Merci beaucoup, Libby. I hope
have a beautiful birthday, Libby.
And it resonates. The big happy birthday from SOLRETA and I. And folks, if you guys want a reading with SOLRETA, you can do so at solreta.com. Here's the website. And there is a coupon code now available to you guys, the Beyond Mystic fans. And the coupon code is LOVE in high caps letters. And that is for a 10% discount on the 2-hour session. SOLRETA, talk about the 2-hour session here. What's involved with that? And does that also include, because a few people asked me earlier in the week, what about those aura drawings that you guys used to talk about? Does SOLRETA still do that?
Let me describe one.
Okay, sounds good. And while she does that, folks, let me ask you, please, to subscribe to our third backup channel here. We are at 31,800 strong, almost 32K. Not exactly where we were before we were deleted, but still, we're growing the community. So if you're watching these videos, please subscribe and share these videos with your friends and family. And yeah, let's rebuild this community together. I really appreciate that. And while you're at it too, please do subscribe also to SOLRETA Antaria here on YouTube. All right. So let's get back to the aura drawings.
Okay, so I always start my session. So when we sit down together, I'll take you through, like whether you want to record, because we can record over Zoom or Skype, so that you can actually just sit and let go and really just be in the middle of the energy of the session, because there's a lot of energy that also comes through and gets downloaded in the session. So we start off by looking into your aura. So I sketch out what colors I can see. So this is an example of an aura drawing I did yesterday. You can see there's quite a fairy realm aspect to this person, especially down the bottom with the elemental energies. So I saw this blue-white crystalline light coming in, this beautiful golden part of their aura. Now, this is when we just turn on, and spirit tends to set it up. So we see things almost as a photo or a snapshot of what's currently going on or what we're sort of moving towards. So a lot of the time to have your aura drawn on here, it's a confirmation or clarification of different things that you've known throughout your life. So this person, there was a lot of like fairy elemental things, but we were able to talk deeper in depth and look into why it's important or what it is that it means on her soul mission. There's also a blue lotus flower in there. Other people, we can sometimes get ETs that come into it. So you can see there's a little ET face just in the corner that's appearing. Each of the colors, to me, color is a language. Color has always had emotion, had words. It's like me translating English into Spanish or Spanish into English. Color for me is literally another language. So what we'll also do is when we go through what the colors represent and what spirit's saying, we'll then be guided to pick cards to look deeper into the aura drawing. And so what happens is we always get confirmation and clarification of what spirit says, what we've drawn. Sometimes what we've drawn will also show up in the cards. So whether it's the same symbol. So I know with this person, that little star that was in the middle, that was coming up in the cards. So spirit was really trying to guide us home to this message, because when we have things come up 2-3 times in a session and it's like over and over again, spirit saying the same things, it provides further clarification and confirmation of different things happening. This one you can see there's almost like an ET looking being right at the top. So just a couple of examples, depending on where the colors are placed. So see how we've got the gold and yellow color placed close to the feet, close to the legs, in grounding, but it also is close to the etheric body, whereas this blue ring is, you know, further out in the spiritual region of the aura. So each color will mean something different depending on where it's placed in the auric bodies. So we also then go into different questions, whether it's like, you know, wanting to look into love, business, looking into soul mission, looking into other particular things. Yeah, there's always time to look into questions.
Beautiful. I was looking for mine. Like you and I have 1,000 emails, so I was looking for the ones you have done for me and Sarah to share them, but I don't have them in front of me. So anyways, maybe for the next show, I'll dig them up and I'll show you. They were actually
that'd be cool, fun. I would be interested to see what I drew.
And you had also drawn pine trees, and you didn't know at the time that I live on a 75-acre where I have a big plantation of these old pine trees. And it was funny that you had brought that up during the reading without knowing that. And so anyways, it was fascinating.
Yeah, things like that happen all the time. It's amazing to watch just how everything unfolds. And I just love that connection with spirit and working and listening to them. And sometimes they're quite lighthearted and hilarious, like some of the things that they say. You know, it's always joyful. It's always such a fun experience. And a lot of my clients walk away with that feeling of energy afterwards.
Hey, there's somebody from Gatineau. Wow. I know where Gatineau is. It's pretty close. So welcome, my friend from the Quebec border, just across the river from where I am, or about an hour away from where I am. But anyways, Gatineau, Gatineau, Quebec. That's amazing. Firenze L. So I don't know. That's cool. I've never had anybody in the chat before from Gatineau, so I thought that was pretty cool. I did. Anyways, that'll be for another story. So I'll tell you a story about Gatineau. Gatineau, as we say in French, in Gatineau. Okay, I used to live in Point Gatineau a long, long time ago. So yes, blessings, JC. All right, thank you. All right, guys, that's it for tonight. I'm running out of time here, and I have to prepare for this next show here tonight. So that was a simulated reality with SOLRETA, and that was part 18. And again, please do remember to go and subscribe to her channel here and check out the last Mercury Retrograde video she just produced. It'll give you a little bit of insights, and don't forget to go check that Doreen Dotan video as well to let you know that the rules of engagement have actually changed here. So that's a fascinating topic in and of itself. And also a few people were asking us again, hey, when are we going to do the Kundalini series part 3? So Rita and I just before the show realized that we are a little bit late on that one, of course, with everything going on in the world. But next week we will get together, record that episode. So we'll use our time slot for next week to record that episode for you. And then the week after, we'll come back here live for part 19 of Simulated Reality, and we'll give you the links to that Kundalini episode. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Au revoir.